What is up guys, it's ItzKbo here and welcome to a brand new video on my channel. Today we're going to be going over 10 stadiums that I think should be in FIFA 20, and there's quite a lot of stadiums that are really popular on in the game, so I won't be able to go through every stadium I think should be in the game, but I've picked out 10 that I think would be really popular in FIFA 20. So before we start, I just want to say that I haven't included Sheffield United's Bramall Lane on this list, because this is ones that aren't guaranteed, because that's almost guaranteed to be in the game because it's got Premier League licensing. EA is principal partner of the Premier League now, so they have every stadium in the Premier League. I've also included stadiums that might be a bit unrealistic because of licensing with PES or other companies or whatsoever. I think you can guess what stadium I'm talking about there, but it's just stadiums that personally I'd really love to see in FIFA, so let's get into it. So starting off at number 10 on our list, we have got the Millennium Stadium in Cardiff, which is used by the Welsh national team sometimes. They sometimes also use the Cardiff City Stadium, which is already in FIFA of course. It's got 73,941 capacity, so it's quite big, and you can just see in the pictures that are coming up on the screen now. I just think there's a nice area around it, you know, on that shots when the match is starting, when they're zooming in on the stadium. So the river around it and everything looks really nice. You can see it empty as well. It is a big stadium, but I just think it looks quite modern, and it has been used at London 2012 as well. And I just think Wales are quite a popular nation because they've got players like Ramsey, who's of course now at Juventus, and the man himself, Gareth Bale, and Ryan Giggs, who is an icon. So I think that this stadium would be quite popular because it is very big and there's quite a big Welsh following of FIFA. Right, moving on to number 9 now, and I think that EA need to come to Galatasaray for this one. There's no Turkish stadiums in FIFA at the moment, and the big Turkish fan base of just football in general and FIFA, you will see them all over Twitter and Instagram just spamming come to whatever club they support. Yeah, they have been quite upset there's been no Turkish stadiums in FIFA, and Galatasaray are the champions of the Turkish league at the moment, and they're in the UCL next season. So this stadium, 52,650 capacity, it's a decent size. I can see a lot of Turkish people using it. Some Turkish fans have even said that they'll just go over to PES and use mods and stuff to put their stadiums in PES because they're so desperate for it. I know it sounds stupid, but Turkish people are very passionate about their football, and I think this game would really appeal to Turkish audiences if it had a Turkish stadium in it. So that's why Turk Telecom Arena, used by Galatasaray, is coming in at number 9. Moving on to number 8. We have another country that doesn't have any stadiums in FIFA at the moment. We're going over to Scotland, and this is going to be Ibrox, which you can see now, used by Rangers, who are the most decorated football club in the world. They have 54 league titles, 33 cups, and European Cup Winners' Cup, which is now part of the Europa League. They have Europa League football next season as well, so EA could use it for licensing. 50,817 capacity, so it's quite big, even though it's quite a compact, old-looking stadium. There's not many old-looking stadiums in FIFA, so that would be quite cool. It's got a lot of history, and of course Rangers have a massive fan base, so using their own stadium would really be an incentive for those people that support Rangers to buy the game. You can't have Rangers without Celtic, so at number 7 we've got Celtic Park. 60,411 capacity makes it the largest stadium in Scotland. It is only about 10,000 bigger than Ibrox, but it just looks so much bigger, and I'm not maybe more intimidating because having loads of people in a small space is intimidating, but it is going to be intimidating for other teams that play there. They're recently the most successful team in Scotland as well, of course, when Rangers have had some financial trouble and stuff, and that has made them a lot more popular. But they did have a massive fan base anyway, and they have UCL football most seasons. So as I've said for stadiums before, licensing, it's a Champions League ground, and yeah, could look to eventually put all the Champions League grounds in FIFA, like they have with the Premier League and La Liga. So I just think it's a really good stadium that they could add, and as I said for Rangers, it's an incentive for Scottish fans, especially Celtic fans, to buy the game. Moving on to number 6, we have got an absolutely massive stadium you can see on your screen now, 94,736 capacity. It is the Soccer City Stadium, which was used for the 2010 World Cup final, so it's probably been in the FIFA 2010 World Cup edition, and it's used by the South African national team now, and I think this one would be a really nice stadium because you can see the outside is beautiful. And there's no African stadiums in FIFA, and African audiences, as I've said for certain countries, this is a whole continent, they don't have a stadium in FIFA, so they could really identify with this stadium, I think, and go, I'm going to use this because this one's in Africa, and I'm going to play Ultimate Team and get this stadium in Ultimate Team. So I think, as I've said with others, it's in a place where EA don't have stadiums, so it's a really big incentive for people who want to buy the game, and especially in South Africa, I do think it'd be a really good addition. At number 5, we have the Estadio da Luz, which is in Lisbon, used by Benfica. 64,642 capacity makes it the biggest stadium in Portugal, and Benfica, instantly recognisable. They're in the top 30 clubs with the most fans in the world, so there's a lot of Benfica fans out there. It has been used by the Portuguese national team as well. They do sometimes use that, sometimes they use the Porto Stadium, which could also be added to FIFA. And of course they have players like Ronaldo, João Felix. They're a really popular team, and they're European champions at the moment. And as I've said for other stadiums, this can have Champions League football. And EA have been really big on the Champions League football since they got licensing for it. And this stadium has been in FIFA before, not recently. I think it was about FIFA 13 they removed it, so they could do this with a lot less work than some of the other stadiums. They have got reference points for it, making it quite easy to implement into the game. For number 4, we're going to move over to South America for the first time today. I'm sure you already all recognise this stadium. It's La Bombonera, which is used by Boca Juniors, and it has also been used by the national team of Argentina. 49,000 capacity does make it the smallest stadium on this list, despite it being quite big. And the iconic flat size just makes it instantly recognisable. I still don't know why they did that, but it is quite cool. Boca are a very popular team, and this stadium has been in FIFA before. FIFA 18 was when it was cut out, so very recently, and a lot of people were disappointed. Like, I like playing at this stadium. I didn't use it, but I like playing against people using it, and it's one that I would pick if I'm playing kickoff against friends. And Boca Juniors fans, and there's a lot of them, could argue that River Plate Stadium has stayed in the game, which is El Monumental for anyone that didn't know. So why hasn't there stayed in the game? And as I've said with a few of the other stadiums so far, it has been in FIFA before, so easy to implement. Into our top 3 now, and we're heading back to Europe. It's the Stade de France. Everyone knows this is used by the French national team. Very big, largest stadium in France with 80,698 capacity. And the French are of course the world champions, and a lot of people like using them in FIFA because of players like Mbappe, Ousmane Dembele, Griezmann, Pogba. I could go on and on. There's a lot of really popular French players in FIFA. When you play as them in seasons, co-op seasons, kick-off, whatever, they do use Parc des Princes, which is PSG stadium, and that's not the stadium they normally use. And it has hosted this stadium, a World Cup final, Euro 2016 final of course, and 2 UCL finals, so it's got a lot of prestige. Only opened in 1998, so it's relatively new, and I think, as I've said before, French people would like to use this stadium. It's their national stadium, so they'd love to see it in the game. And there's quite a few pro players and a lot of just general fans of FIFA that are French, so I think they'd like to see the stadium implemented, and I'd like to see it as well. We've only got 2 stadiums left, and just missing out on the number 1 spot, it's the Estádio de Maracanã. Brazilian national team use it. It is instantly recognisable. Everyone knows the Maracanã, largest stadium in Brazil of course. 78,838 capacity, although the old Maracanã, which is I believe on the same site, has the record attendance for a football match, which is 199,000 people, which is pretty massive, and it's one of the best known stadiums and the best known teams in the world that are there, and hosted 2014 World Cup finals, so of course hosting the World Cup, it was in the FIFA 2014 World Cup games, so as I've said for a few of the other ones, easy to implement, and you can see pictures of it here. It did look quite nice then, and with the new Frostbite engine I think it'd look even better. And Brazil haven't really had the best year in FIFA. A lot of their players just don't show up when you play kickoff all season or whatever. It's just Neymar and a load of bots, which is really strange. So I think to repay those Brazilian fans who have not been able to use their players in FIFA this year, that the Maracanã should be in FIFA. So there's going to be no prizes for guessing which stadium has taken our number 1 spot. It's the biggest stadium in Europe, 99,000 capacity at the moment. It's going to be expanded as well. It's of course, I'd say, the best known stadium in the world, most recognisable. The Nou Camp in Barcelona, major tourist attraction of course, used by Barcelona, who have Lionel Messi and will be in the Champions League next season. Champions League licensing coming into play again. It's hosted the Champions League final and the Europa League final and the UEFA Super Cup final, as well as a lot of domestic finals of course, and as a few of the others, has been in FIFA before, so easy to implement. And with the expansion in a few years, I think it's really important EA have the licensing for this. Barcelona, I don't think they're the most supported club in the world, I think that's Man United, but they're in the top 3 or 4 along with Real Madrid, and I think it's Bayern Munich, but this stadium really needs to be in FIFA for all those Barcelona fans. They'll be really upset that it's in PES, and that could like move people over to PES. Of course Juventus are now going to be exclusive to PES as well. So I think it's important EA try and take Barcelona back. It may not be on this FIFA, but if they can do it before that expansion, have that massive stadium in FIFA, I think it'd be really good for EA. and that is going to be the final stadium on our list. So I want to know what you guys thought of this list. In the comments below, just drop if you think there was any I missed, or if you think some of them need to be moved around in the list or whatsoever. I do admit this list probably isn't perfect, and there will be stadiums I'd miss, so just tell me in the comments below what you think I should have done. Don't forget to leave a like if you haven't already, and share it about so you can argue with your friends over what they think should be in the game, what you think should be in the game, what I think should be in the game, and just compare them. And maybe I'll do another video on top 10 ones that you've asked for me to do on the list, just top 10 like subscriber ones that should be in FIFA, so I might do that in the future. Just thank you to everyone who's still watching this video, and I'll see you in the next one. Goodbye.